The street is empty in the way certain streets only get when the city decides to look away. One flickering street lamp, wet pavement, cold air burning in my lungs. Damon is in front of me, and we're already past words. Everything is fists and breath and bone. He swings wild. My shoulder drives into his chest, and we hit the pavement hard. I don't stop. We go down. I end up on top. My knee digs into his ribs. My weight pins him. He bucks and fights, but he's slower now. Blood is everywhere. His mouth, his nose, the cut over his eye. My chest is on fire. My hands are shaking, but I don't feel weak. I feel finished. For a second, I just look at him, at my brother, at the thing he turned into. My hand goes to my waist. The gun comes free like it's been waiting on this moment. I don't think. I don't hesitate. I pull the trigger. The sound is too loud, too final. His head snaps to the side and his body goes still. The echo rolls down the block and disappears into the dark. I stay there for half a second longer than I should, the weight of it crashing into me all at once. Then I push up. I start to stand. Pain explodes in my back. The shot hits me like fire tearing through muscle and bone. My body jerks. The gun slips from my hand and clatters across the pavement. My legs give out. I fall forward and hit the ground hard. The street tilts. The light blurs. Everything starts closing in from the edges. Somewhere nearby, a dog starts barking, sharp and frantic, like it knows something terrible just happened. Boots step into my vision, black boots. They don't rush. They don't stop. They turn and walk away. I try to move. I can't. It was just a single shot. Why can't I move? The cold seeps into my cheek. The pavement smells like oil and rust and blood. The world goes narrow, then it goes dark, and then there is nothing. Chapter 1, Between Worlds. The lights are too bright. They burn straight through my eyelids, white and merciless, and even unconscious I feel them digging into me. The world is noise, metal clatter, hurried footsteps, voices overlapping, sharpened clips, speaking a language made of urgency and panic. My body is weightless and impossibly heavy at the same time. I'm moving. No, I'm being moved. Something cold presses against my back and the pain reacts before I do, flaring so violently it pulls a sound out of me, raw and animal. I don't recognize it as my own. I don't recognize anything. Hands are everywhere, gloved, fast, efficient. My shirt is cut open, fabric tearing, scissors biting through cotton. Air hits my skin and in, warmth. Too much warmth. Blood. I feel it before I know what it is. Wet and slick, sliding down my side, dripping off the edge of whatever I'm lying on. It hits the floor in a steady rhythm, soft but relentless. Someone says my blood pressure is dropping. Someone else says we're losing him. We need to move him to the OR now. I want to laugh at that. Losing me? Hell, maybe they are right because I am struggling to breathe. A mask comes down over my face. The smell of plastic and chemicals floods my nose. I try to turn my head away and can't. My body doesn't answer me anymore. Needles pierce my skin. One in my arm, another somewhere lower. I don't feel the second one at all, and that scares me more than the pain. My back is on fire. No, that's not right. Fire implies something sharp, something quick. This is deeper. This is like my spine has been split open and someone is reaching inside me, twisting. A voice cuts through the chaos.
Gunshot wound to the back, possible spinal involvement.
Back. The word lands heavy. Something inside me knows exactly what they're talking about, even if my mind can't reach it yet. The face hovers above me. Blurred, female maybe. Her mouth is moving, but the words don't make it all the way to me. My vision tunnels. I'm falling inward, away from the lights, away from the hands, away from the blood still dripping off the side of the gurney. I let it take me. Pain drags me back, not all at once. Piece by piece. It's not the sharp, screaming pain from before. This one is slow and crushing, like something heavy is sitting on my chest and refusing to move. It's inside my bones, behind my eyes, threaded through my spine. I try to inhale and my body stutters. Air comes in, but it doesn't feel like it belongs to me. There's a sound, steady, mechanical, a hiss, a rhythm that isn't mine. I realize distantly that I'm breathing through something. Panic surges. I try to move. Nothing happens. My mind slams against my body and gets no response. No fingers twitching. No toes curling. Not even a flinch. I'm locked in. Trapped. The darkness isn't complete anymore. It has depth now. Texture. A low hum running through it, like electricity under the surface. I try to open my eyes and fail. I don't know how long I lie there like that, counting pain instead of seconds. Time doesn't make sense yet. It stretches and folds in on itself, elastic and cruel. Thoughts come in fragments. Damon. The street. The gun in my hand. The recoil. His head snapping back. That part is clear. Too clear. I killed him. The certainty of it sits heavy in my chest, not guilt exactly. Something colder. Final. After that, everything fractures. There's a gap. A missing piece my mind keeps circling, like a tongue pressing against a broken tooth. Something happened after. I know it did. My back pulses again, deep and furious, and the memory sharpens just enough to hurt. Footsteps. Behind me, my pulse jumps. Even lying here, even barely conscious, my body reacts like it's happening again. My heart rate spikes, and the machines around me answer with a faster, more urgent rhythm. I don't know what those footsteps mean yet. I just know they don't belong to Damon. The darkness thins. Light bleeds in around the edges, pale and unfocused. I force my eyes, open a fraction, and immediately regret it. The brightness slices through me, sending another wave of pain crashing down my spine. White. That's the first thing I register. White ceiling, white walls, white light too clean to belong to the street I remember. The smell hits me next. Antiseptic, plastic. Something faintly medicinal that sits heavy in the back of my throat. Hospital. The word lands with a dull thud. I try to swallow and something catches. My throat burns. There's a foreign pressure there, wrong and invasive, and it takes me a second to realize. A tube. Panic surges again, sharper this time. I try to cough. My chest spasms and the pain answers immediately, brutal and unforgiving. The world blurs. No. I don't do helpless. I don't do restrained. I try to move my arms again. Nothing. They feel like dead weight, like they've been left behind somewhere else. My legs might as well not exist. Fear creeps in, slow and insidious. Not the kind that makes you run. The kind that settles in your gut and whispers. What if this is it? What if I don't get up from this? Anger flares, hot and immediate. I refuse the thought outright. I've been locked up, beaten down, shot at, buried alive in places darker than this. I didn't survive all that to die in a white room surrounded by machines. The sound of footsteps pulls my attention, real footsteps, close. I strain my eyes toward the movement and catch a shadow crossing the wall. Someone is here. My heart pounds harder. I want to reach for a weapon that isn't there. My body doesn't respond, doesn't care what I want. Figure steps into my line of sight. Tall. Broad. Familiar in a way that makes no sense at first. Slim. The shock of seeing him here cuts through the haze like a blade. My mind scrambles to catch up. Slim doesn't belong in hospitals. He belongs in Canada, in government buildings and places where men like me don't end up wired to machines unless something has gone very wrong. His face is calm. He looks down at me like he's studying a board mid-game, already thinking 3 moves ahead.
You're safe.
I try to speak, to demand answers, but all that comes out is a useless sound around the tube in my throat. Frustration burns. Slim's eyes flick to the machines, then back to mine. He steps closer and places a hand on my shoulder. Not heavy, not light, grounding.
Don't fight it. You just came back to us.
Back from where? The question screams in my head. I want to ask him how long I've been here, where here even is. Who knows I'm alive? Because that's the thought that suddenly punches through everything else. Alive, if Slim is standing over me like this, if my mother isn't here yet, if this room is this quiet. Something about this doesn't feel public. It feels hidden. The realization sends a cold ripple through me. Slim doesn't save people for free. He doesn't pull strings unless there's a reason. Whatever happened on that street didn't end there.
Arrest.
He says, like he's reading my thoughts.
We'll talk when you can.
I don't want rest. I want control. I want to know who's behind me. I want to know why my back feels like it's been torn apart. I want to know if Damon is really dead or if that's another lie my mind is telling me. I want Jada. Where is Jada and Ari? Darkness takes me again. Smoother this time, like someone turned the lights down instead of cutting them off. When I awake again, it's quieter. The tube is gone. I vaguely remember them waking me to remove it. My throat feels raw, scraped, but I can breathe on my own. Each breath still hurts, but it's mine. The pain hasn't left. It's just settled into something deeper, more constant, a presence. The room is dimmer now. Evening light leaks in through heavy curtains, painting the walls in muted gold and shadow. I turn my head slowly, careful not to provoke my back, and see someone sitting beside the bed. For half a second, my heart betrays me. I think it's Jada. Then my vision clears. It's my mother. Lisa sits with her hands folded tightly in her lap, her posture straight, controlled. She looks smaller than I remember. Older. Her eyes are fixed on me like she's afraid I'll disappear if she blinks. The moment our eyes meet, something in her breaks. She leans forward, one hand coming to rest on the edge of the bed, the other hovering near my arm like she's afraid to touch me too hard.
Hey.
She says softly. I try to answer her. My mouth opens. My throat tightens. Nothing comes out. Her eyes shine with unshed tears, but she smiles anyway. The kind of smile mothers use when they're holding themselves together by force.
You scared me.
The understatement almost makes me laugh. Almost, she starts talking. About nothing and everything at once. The weather. The drive. How stubborn I've always been. How I never listened when people told me to slow down. Her voice is an anchor pulling me back into my body piece by piece. I listen, even when it hurts. Even when exhaustion presses in around the edges again. At some point, her phone rings. She hesitates, glances at it, then back at me.
I'll be right back, baby.
She leans down and kisses my forehead before stepping out of the room. The door closes softly behind her. The silence that follows feels intentional, like it's waiting. I stare at the ceiling, breathing shallow, my thoughts drifting back to that missing piece. The footsteps. The shot. My back throbs again, almost an answer. The door opens. Slim steps inside. He closes it behind him. This time, when he looks at me, there's something different in his eyes. Something sharp.
Tell me.
He says quietly, pulling a chair closer to the bed.
What's the last thing you remember?
I swallow hard. The word comes out rough, barely more than air. Damon. Slim nods once. And then he says the words that change everything.
There's a Judas in your circle.
The room feels colder.
You didn't fall on that street by accident. Someone put you down. Someone close enough to get behind you. I don't think your shooting was random.
My heart starts pounding again, slow and heavy. Slim holds my gaze.
The world thinks you're dead.
He continues.
I made sure of it.
A chill settled deep in my bones.
We're gonna keep it that way until we find out who pulled that trigger.
The weight of it presses down on me, heavier than the pain, heavier than the machines, heavier than the bed I can't get out of. Dead, hidden, betrayed. Somewhere far away, a name rises in my chest unbidden. Jada. Slim shakes his head once, slow and deliberate. It silences me.
She's fine, devastated, but fine. Your mother paid her a visit.
Does she know?
You've been shot?
Slim cuts me off.
Yes. She's aware you've been shot and killed.
I frown instantly. My chest tightens. My mother visited her. Is she no longer in Guyana? Why would they lie to her? I part my lips to question Slim again, but he answers me as if he can read my thoughts.
She's in the house you bought in Plainsfield. Your mother and I think it's best she isn't staying in your spot in Midtown. Lisa also took care of her and gave her a few $100,000. She knew that's what you would have wanted.
Slim pauses before he continues.
Leak, I don't believe you getting shot and left for dead is random. You were shot in the back instead of the back of the head. Why is that? The $2,000 you had in your pocket was untouched. Your car keys were still on you. I feel it's imperative that only me, your mama, and my people here are the only ones who know you're alive.
I shake my head. I had no enemies.
That you knew of.
He cuts me off again. Slim exhales slow, the kind of sigh that means he's already decided something and doesn't care if I agree.
You know, I've been in the streets since I was 10 years old. And you also know I'm really wrong. Something about that night ain't right. I'll prove it. When I get you out of this hospital and I have enough to put in front of you, I'll bring it to you.
I just look at him. Don't interrupt. Don't argue. I've learned Slim only talks this much when he's already 10 steps ahead of everybody else.
Don't get in your feelings about this. But Jada has to believe you're dead. Women, and specifically their pussy, cloud a man's judgment. And she'd be a blind spot for you. She just came into your life, and from where I'm standing, you dropped your guard fast.
He isn't wrong. That's the part I don't like. I did let my guard down. I never let anyone get that close to me, not that quick. But taking her in, looking out for her, it felt natural. Like breathing. Like something I've been doing all my life and just forgot. I don't say any of that. Instead, I say the only thing that matters. I want eyes on her.
Of course, I have someone trusted. She'll never know she's being watched. You know how I do.
Slim smirks slightly. My throat is dry when I say, the file. Slim frowns.
What file?
It's the reason I met up with Damon. I returned the USB that he stole back to him. Was it on Damon or in his car? Slim's expression darkens. He doesn't answer. Silence. Then I hear a light knock at the door before it opens slightly. A black middle-aged woman in scrubs peeks in.
I'm sorry. Should I come back, Slim?
She only addresses him. He exhales slowly.
No. Come check him out. I have some business to handle.
The woman steps in and closes the door behind her. Where am I? I ask Slim.
Ontario.
He says simply, I blink. I'm no longer in the U.S. Slim brought me to Canada, the province of Ontario. During my 10-year sentence, Slim sold the illegal side of his operation in the States and moved back here. He still had deep connections and legitimate businesses in the U.S., but now he was a senator and had been living here for several years. Slim and I always kept in touch in familiar ways. We usually spoke twice a year. His connections are obviously how he found out I'd been shot and taken to the hospital. Like he's reading my mind again, he interrupts my thoughts.
You were taken to Street Hellenes. I'm sure you haven't forgotten that. I have you and my other men registered in their hospital system to alert me if any of y'all were ever brought in.
I frown. Yeah, I remember, but you've been gone for years. I didn't think. Slim shrugs.
Only a handful of y'all left that I look at as family. I left the system in place, and I'm glad I did.
His eyes sweep over me from head to toe before he continues.
Let this lady do her job. I've got business to handle. I'll be back. We need to talk more about that night.
Slim walks out. The middle-aged woman steps closer.
My name is Juanita, and I'm one of your nurses. I'm going to take your vitals and give you some of your meds. Can you tell me your pain level?
I blink at her. An 8. She nods.
I'll take care of that now.
I watch as she types into the computer beside my bed, wraps a blood pressure cuff around my arm, and checks my vitals. Her fingers move quickly over the keys. She presses a button on the panel next to my bed. She doesn't say much. A few minutes later, I feel it. The change. The edge dulls. My body goes heavy. My eyelids sink. And the dark starts pulling me under again. The darkness creeps back in around the edges, but this time I don't fight it. Because now I understand something fundamental. Whatever I woke up into, my life as I knew it is over. And whatever comes next is going to be violent. Chapter 2, My Mother's Hands. The room smells like antiseptic and something faintly floral, like someone tried to soften the edges of a place that was never meant to be gentle. I'm awake before she comes back, not fully alert, not strong, but awake enough to feel the weight of everything sitting on my chest like a second body. The pain is still there, deep and constant, but it's not screaming anymore. It's waiting. I lose count somewhere after 20. Time doesn't move right in places like this. It stretches. It folds in on itself. It waits until you stop paying attention, and then it jumps forward. The door opens quietly. I know it's her before I see her. There's a weight to my mother's presence that has nothing to do with sound. It's like the room recognizes her before I do. Lisa steps inside and closes the door behind her, careful, like I might shatter if she isn't. She looks at me the way people look at something they almost lost. Her eyes are tired, red around the edges, but she's holding herself together with the kind of discipline only women like her ever learn. The kind you build after too many disappointments and too much waiting by too many beds. She sits down slowly, like she's afraid the chair might make noise.
Hey.
I try to answer. My mouth opens. My throat tightens. Nothing comes out but a weak, broken sound. Her face softens, and she immediately leans forward, placing her hand over mine. Her hand is warm, solid, real. I hold on to that.
Don't.
She says gently.
You don't have to talk yet.
I close my eyes for a second and let the sound of her voice wash over me. She's here. I'm not alone in this. That thought hits harder than the pain. She looks older since the last time seen her a few months ago. Fine lines around her eyes, a little more gray in her hair.
You scared me.
She says quietly.
You really did. I got a call from Slim. Didn't even make sense at first. Just, you need to come. I didn't ask questions. I just got on the first plane.
I try to look around the room again. Really look. This isn't a hospital I've woken up in before. It's too quiet, too private. The walls are different. The air was different. Where? I tried the word, barely makes it out, raw and hoarse.
We're still in Ontario, baby. We moved you and you've been heavily sedated and out of it. We're now in Slim's house, if that's what you want to call it.
She chuckles slightly.
This is really a mini castle.
I blink slowly. That explains the silence. That explains Slim. That explains why nothing feels connected to my real life anymore. She watches my face carefully, like she's trying to read every thought that crosses it.
They said you might be confused.
She adds.
Some things might come back slow.
Confused doesn't begin to cover it. My body feels like a map someone else drew and then erased half of. I shift slightly, testing myself, and immediately regret it. Pain blooms across my back, hot and unforgiving. My breath catches. Her hand tightens on mine.
Easy.
She says.
Please, don't do that.
I let myself go still again. She exhales slowly like she's been holding her breath for days.
You always do too much.
She says with a small, sad smile.
Always have.
I want to tell her I had to. I want to tell that men like me don't get the luxury of half measures, but I don't have the energy for that fight. She looks at me for a long moment, just taking me in.
You look like you did when you were 8. After you fell out of that tree and swore you were fine.
A memory flickers. Me on the ground, her face above me, panic hidden behind anger.
I told you not to climb it. You never listened.
I almost smile. Almost.
I used to sit by your bed back then, too.
She continues.
Just in case you woke up and needed me.
Her voice tightens.
Guess some things don't change.
The weight of that settles in my chest. I hate that she's here like this. I hate that I keep dragging her into rooms like this. How bad? I ask. The words scrape out of my throat. She hesitates. Just for a second. That's how I know it's bad.
You were shot in the back.
She says carefully.
The bullet did some damage, but the bullet didn't hit your spinal column or cord. Thank God. Your major setback was you developing pneumonia.
She sighs.
The loss of blood, your body attempting to recover from surgery, on top of you developing pneumonia, is why you've been in the ICU for 2 months. The doctors are confident you will make a full recovery, but it's going to take time.
Time. I don't have time. My life has never been built around waiting. She studies my face like she's looking for something. Then she says things I've been dreading.
On the very first call, they told me you were gone.
My heart stutters.
They told me you died on that street.
I close my eyes. There it is. The part of the story I don't remember.
They said it like it was already finished,
She continues.
like it was a fact, like I was supposed to just accept it.
Her voice cracks.
I didn't. I couldn't. I don't know why. I just couldn't believe it.
I feel something wet slide down my cheek and realize distantly that I'm crying. I don't remember the last time that happened.
They called me again, hours later, said there had been a mistake, that you were alive, barely, but alive. I think they confused you with Damon when they originally called me.
She shakes her head.
I've never hated a word more than barely.
Her grip on my hand tightens.
They moved you, quietly, before anyone else could get to you.
I open my eyes and look at her. That's when it starts to sink in. Whatever happened on that street didn't just almost kill me. It changed the shape of my life.
You were bleeding so much.
She continues.
They said it was a miracle you made it through surgery.
Miracle. I've never believed in those either. She brushes her fingers over my hair the way she used to when I was a kid.
You always been a fighter.
She says, trying to smile. I look at her, really look, and I see the fear she's still carrying. The night she didn't sleep. The hours she probably spent staring at a phone, waiting for it to ring again. I'm sorry, I whisper. Her eyes widen.
For what?
For this, for all of it. She shakes her head immediately.
No, don't you do that. Don't you put this on yourself.
We both know that's a lie. She just doesn't want me carrying it.
You don't get to die. Not on me. Not like that. No mother should bury a child.
The words hit harder than anything else. She sits with me like that for a long time, talking about nothing, about everything, about her sister calling too much, about how things haven't been the same since my shooting, about how she dropped everything she was doing in France to come be with me, about Jada and Ari moving out of my penthouse. The name slices through me. Jada. My chest tightens. I don't ask. I'm not ready to. She notices anyway. Her voice softens.
She's holding up as much as anyone could.
I close my eyes.
I had a disagreement with Slim on keeping Jada in the dark. By time I flew in from France, I was bombarded with information, Slim and his people discussing moving you out of the country. He didn't like how long it took him to get in touch with Rick. He didn't like how long it took for Rick to give him the security footage of the shop, the penthouse, your phone records. He didn't like that fact that Jada was in Guyana and he couldn't get intel on her. Everything was irritating Slim.
She takes a deep breath.
You know, Slim is very old school and trusts no one.
She sighs softly.
She loves you,
Present tense, not past.
misses you.
Something in my throat closes. And Ari, I ask.
She's so beautiful, asking questions here and there, missing you. They are both in counseling.
The weight of that almost breaks me. I turn my face slightly, staring at the wall, trying to hide it. They was in Guyana. How did Slim find out about them? I ask.
Rick,
My mother simply replies. I should be there, I say to her.
you are here, and that's all that matters right now.
We both know that things is more complicated than that, but it's all we have. She squeezes my hand.
Rest. You'll need your strength.
For what? I ask. She looks at me for a long moment.
Life.
The door opens softly. Slim steps inside. He nods at my mother. She looks at him, then back at me.
I'll be right outside.
She says, brushing her thumb over my knuckles.
Don't go anywhere.
I can tell by her slight smirk on her face she's trying to lighten the mood. She leaves the room. Slim closes the door. And I know, whatever comes next is going to change everything. Coming up on part 2.
Leak. Got someone for you. You intrigued.
No, I'm concerned. There's a difference.
Be careful anyway. Malik ain't a man you get tangled up with.